Hello and welcome to Reduce CO2 Now. This presentation is about software development. So one of our strategies in the project is to build applications, mobile applications that people really actually want. And they should be really useful and at the same time also give like a little bit of teaching and learning about global warming and climate change. But really like the first thing is, hey, we want to give people applications they really want. We are going to work, it's going to be free. There's no advertising. You get the full functionality. You are in full control of your own data. There's no spying, tracking or so on. And we are working open source, transparent and trusted. The areas we're working on is, for example, food and diet. That's where we start first, because that's really important for the project as such, because food and diet has a big impact on global warming and CO2 in the atmosphere. So there will be like calorie counter recipes and so on. Personal finance, dating and relationships, family life, friendships and communities, all areas where, for example, data is very important, and data security and that it's trusted is a very important thing. So what we are already working on is what we call the CO2 Diet app. So it's an application and a whole system to support you in doing a diet, in losing weight, and tracking your personal nutrition, your calories and stuff. You can track your cost. You will also track your CO2. It's going to tell you how much CO2 you are producing. And again, this app, because it's like really personal data, you don't really want to have your data, flying around what you're eating all the time. So privacy first, we are handling your data with the utmost respect. Here's some screenshots of the work which is ongoing for the CO2 Diet app. We are in the stage of doing user interface and experience design. We're having like some competing designs here, and it's really important that when the things you're doing with the app all the time, like logging your food and so that this is really working very well, and it's really smooth and you really like it. It's really giving you a good value for your time. And well, it's completely free. You want to join this effort to build this application? Hey, join us on Discord. You are very welcome. And there are, of course, other applications we want to build. So we want to build applications what people really like, because conventionally, if somebody's giving you something for free, you either have to see advertising, or like they're taking your data and selling it somehow, or you would have to pay like a subscription or money for this application to be used. And we are working here with an all-volunteer team, so our costs to actually produce software are really low. And we try to use as much as possible free tools, so our development costs are really low. So that's like our advantage, and we want to use this advantage to make applications people really like in all kinds of areas where your data, for example, is very important and you want to keep your data private. So again, we have a recipe that we do something different than the rest of the industry, because the rest of the industry is doing apps usually not because they are so nice to you, because they want to make money. And our recipe is that you don't have to you don't have to see any ads. There's no tracking. You can really trust us. So privacy first, the user owns and controls their data. Our vision is that all the data is on your phone and not on our server. So you keep it there. You use your personal cloud to back it up, and there's import, export functions and this kind of stuff. So we are not even having your data. Isn't that cool? And that is giving you a very good data privacy. And of course, all the data handling we are doing is completely transparent. It's, again, free access, no advertising, tracking, hidden costs. And we do this in open collaboration. So it's going to be on GitHub. It's going to be open source. We try to use open source products as much as possible. And that gives us the advantage that people can trust us, because anybody can check in. Is the software these guys saying they're doing, is it actually doing this? And what is our roadmap? Well, you heard that the first application is already ongoing. This was a CO2 Diet app. Then things become a little bit more complicated. And we can do things in the area, for example, of dating. Would it be good to have a really cool dating app which really works? Or like Friendship Finder or something like this. Then we could do something like to do a family organizer, like that you share calendar data and things. So in your family, you could be managing your children's pocket money. You would be the bank for your children, and that's going to give your children something to learn, and you would be doing something. It could be also like investing there, or you could have a finance manager, budget planning, saving goals, spending, investment tracking, all these very sensitive data, like your financial data, which you don't want to have flying around on the server and everybody knowing what you're doing there. Why is that possible? Because we want you that you trust us by building these applications. So now we come to the longer term roadmap, because you see that like we start with some comparatively simple app, which is like logging something, and there's not so much interaction. There's of course no payment or anything. And then we come to something more complex. And our vision is that to really make an impact in the whole world, we have to influence really a lot of people. And imagine that today people are buying products which are made somewhere overseas, usually in a country where the income is really low. So they are products produced, then they are shipped around the world. So where people have a job, earn money, and then they buy products they don't really need to impress others, they don't really like, and in the end, having relationships which don't really work, and they're like really sad and not really happy with the whole thing about it. And wouldn't it be better that instead of like consuming products all the time, we would like move the world away from getting satisfaction out of products, something physical, to something like service. Yeah? And this is what we are envisioning here, that we can build a global marketplace for services where everybody could market their service from like, let's say €1 or $1 upwards. And we call this like the Amazon for services, because right now when you go to Amazon, you can buy all kinds of products, but you can't buy any kind of service from them. It's just like really just a product-driven platform. And we just want to take this away and build the whole kind of thing, but for services, with a core idea to give all kinds of people around the world who are not earning much right now the possibility to earn money by services. And then they stop working in these factories, and you see that this is actually making sense on a global scale. When we don't do products anymore, but we move the world from a product-driven world and economy to a service-driven world and economy. So that is really like a very important thing for our low-carbon future. So why is this now such a huge deal? So first of all, there's like really billions of people out there which have valuable skills, but they don't really have the access to global customers, and they can't really earn a living from providing services. And there's like really lots and lots of people out there who have like an income of like several $100 or less per month, which is like really, really low. And like there's even several 100 million people earning like $100 or less. And the other area, what we are looking at is women. So one of our core audience is women, especially young mothers, because women are much more interested in like the society, their children, and so on, than men. So like our core audience is women, and we are very much interested in women and empowerment. Why is that? Because it has been shown that female empowerment, learning, and so on, is a very influential factor for the growth of the population. Because, the more people we have on the planet, the more people want to get something, produce something, and then, produce more CO2. And it has been shown that if women are getting empowered, and women are the ones who are actually having the income in a family, the family changes. They are, they're not going to have like lots and lots of babies anymore. They are like fulfilling their own sort of career. They're making the money, and they become more independent. So female empowerment very, very important factor for the benefit of the climate. And this eBay for, Amazon for services. How does it work? Imagine it's just like a person and they have a smartphone and you want to make a diet. And now you buy the service from somebody for €1 that person is going to call you once per day. Yeah, and you pay $1 or €1 or something like this for a 5 to 10 minute call. So that person is calling you every day and saying, "Hey, how are you doing? What did you eat yesterday? How much do you weigh today? Did you follow your plan? Did you exercise? Did you do what you actually planned?" The person just asking you questions. Doesn't really know yet that much. But hey, then she's asking you, what are you going to do today? What are you going to follow? Or, you just messed up, for example, and that person can help you to recover your spirits. So you have your personal coach and you pay something let's imagine just $1 per day. Yeah, it's not much for a lot of people in the Western world, and you get really a very, very good service which helps you to fulfill your goal, how to lose weight. And at the same time, imagine that person is now earning $30 per month from you. Yeah, and imagine that person is doing that 10 minutes per day. Can she do 10 clients per day? Yeah, she would be earning $300 per month. And that would be something like the absolute base salary. If she becomes more competent, she could maybe charge more and she can do other services, so on. But you see, she would be already earning more money with hanging around 2 hours per day, maybe on a telephone, making more money than maybe a worker is earning in Brazil for working really hard on a field and cutting sugarcane. You see that this is going to have an impact if these people can have access to a global market and sell their services, as simple as just asking questions. And there's an unlimited amount of services which could be sold here. For example, you could imagine you want to see Africa, but you don't want to fly there and all the heat and stuff. So you can hire a person which just takes a telephone and walks you around and shows you everything. Yeah, you can ask the question. The only thing the person needs to know is speak your language, maybe English or whatever the language they have. That would be also a service. So now we come to really the long-term roadmap of our project. Because there is something missing in the world, and that is the possibility for people all around the world to do something for climate change and get paid for this. Today, there's institutions out there who try to certify projects where some people are doing something and so on, but it doesn't really allow. It's very costly, to get certified, and you don't know how much it really is worth and so on. So it's really all about trust. When you're doing something about CO2, there's so much fraud around. So what we are envisaging is something like eBay, the platform eBay for carbon credits. So instead of selling goods, it's something similar to the service here. So you see that it's somehow connected to the development of the Amazon for services. It's very similar. It's just going to have some certain additions here, because now you have also an auction feature and you have a selling feature. And the idea is that there's a person, let's say in a country where there's a lot of forests and there's dead wood lying around. So that person could just go into this forest, dig a hole somewhere, take the smartphone, make a photograph before they're digging the hole, then they make a photograph when the hole is there, then they make a photograph of the wood, then they make, the app is telling them what to do all the time. And then they put the wood inside, make another photograph, close it, make another photograph, and that's it. And then they could use AI to evaluate how much CO2 has now been put into the ground. And they document their work and they upload it, and now it can be sold. You see, if suddenly hundreds of millions of people around the world would be doing that, we would get lots and lots of CO2 out of the air. One of the core things in our project to look how to bring these kinds of solutions on the global marketplace. So how that thing actually work? Well, it's a software. You see, it's quite simple. You just have to make like photographs. It's really like eBay. You know, on eBay, you have like a product or like anything, you want to sell it. You make photographs. You describe the whole thing. You have like say where it is and how you send it to somebody. So you put in your data a little bit. You put in what you want. Like you can market it for an auction or a fixed price and stuff like this. The only difference here is now that, of course, you don't get this thing delivered somehow. But what you get delivered is like a credit. You know, you bought, you paid that a certain person in the world took care that a certain amount of CO2 is not in the air anymore. So, and nowadays with AI, it's really simple that, hey, the verification of the whole thing can be done with AI. You know, the AI can evaluate depending on, hey, we are at this position, we have like the GPS coordinates, we can measure how big is the whole thing. That's like all kinds of features what AI can be doing, and you can evaluate, is this an original picture? You know, you can take care that it's really the picture is not manipulated and so on. And that can be all done with AI. At the same time, we could like get from the providers of satellite data, we could like get snippets of, hey, how did this area where supposedly that thing is look like before, you know, and after, and you just see, okay, actually, really somebody was digging a hole, putting stuff inside. Maybe you don't see that, but you see it before and after. And then that could be also used to actually track the whole thing. Is you know that the person is not like taking it out again and selling it to you again. You know, you see that there a lot of automation nowadays is possible. And so this whole biomass burial kind of thing could be something where millions and hundreds of millions of people really are doing something positively to reduce CO2 in the atmosphere, to bring back CO2 in the ground. And that's like our vision. That's why we want to do this eBay for carbon credits. It's like, let's say, in the list of all things, it's like the most complex kind of software here. So you want to join us? That's really easy. You just join us on Discord, go to an online meeting. You see here the link on the screen, or you go to reduceco2now.com, or you go into the description of the video. There you find the links as well. Then you go to the event section on Discord, join a meeting, and introduce yourself, discuss with us how you can participate and what would be your first steps. So joining us is really easy. And we are looking for all kinds of expertise. So please, please, please join us on Discord. So why are we actually doing this? Most of the people around the world don't really know much about global warming and climate change. Really, we personally, I went out there and even among German university students, I made like questionnaires and interviews and asked them what they know about global warming and climate change, and it's surprisingly not very much. In the normal general population also, there people have heard about climate change, but nobody really knows how bad it is, how severe it is, and how much is going to come. It's it's a problem of somebody else. It's like in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it's a PAL. It's a problem of other people. So it's somebody else's problem. And maybe the politicians should do something about this and so on. Here you see some charts, like on the left-hand side, the red curve shows you how much CO2 is in the air, and it's going up, and it's going up in an accelerated way. So the rate of increase is even increasing. Why is that the case? In the middle, you see how much CO2 we are producing from fossil fuels. That is going up all the time. So all this talk of 25 years of climate conferences is not going to show up anywhere in the bottom line. The world is producing more and more CO2. We find more and more ways how to use our energy and so on. So it's not getting better in any way. It's getting worse. And on the right side, you see the consequences. It's the temperature of the planet which is increasing. On the lower right-hand side, you see some examples of what is going to come, like drought. It's getting hotter, of course. Sea level is going to rise, wildfires, flooding, more extreme weather. They're all things which are usually associated with climate change. And what we find is that there is a lot of talk and there's a lot of development, of course. Like there's countries who are pushing solar power and wind power and all these things. But the problem really is on the bottom line for the whole planet. It's not adding up. We are not against people building electric cars and investing in this technology. It's really good. It's not but what we are saying is we have to do it and approach the problem in a systematic way. So it's a systems problem, and that's what we are good at. Where we are working, as you see, the solutions we are focusing on are completely different from the stuff most people are focusing on. So you want to join us? You are very welcome. Go to Discord and join us. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, show this to other people, invite other people to also join this effort. Again, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon, and let's do something together for the future of this planet and change. Let's turn climate change around.